All right, so this problem is a improper integral, which is obvious, right? We got a infinity in the upper limit of integration, and we got to evaluate it. Okay, so let's just right away change this to a it's going to be like the limit as b goes to infinity of the integral from 1 to b of x over 1 plus x squared dx. Now let's focus our attention on this. All right, so we have to evaluate or find an antiderivative of that in the inside, and I'm thinking here, I see an x squared and an x. I think I'm going to use a u substitution, which you're allowed to do, because you want to treat this, we'll deal with the b goes to infinity later. You want to treat this now just like any old definite integral, as if b's a number. All right, so let's see. I'm going to do, let's let u be 1 plus x squared, and that means du becomes 2x dx, which allows me to say that du over 2 is x dx. So now I can take this, I can take this and put it here, and I can take this, and replace that, so that my integral becomes the integral from, so I'm going to leave off the limits of integration, those need to be updated. So I've got a du over 2, so when I put a 1/2 out here and a du, and then I've just got a u squared. And now my upper limit, my limits of integration have to be updated too, right? So when x is a 1, u is, right, so like x equals 1 implies that u is 1 plus 1 squared, which is 2. And when x is equal to b, that implies, that implies that u is equal to 1 plus b squared. Okay, we keep going. We want to think of this as u to the negative 2 to do an antiderivative. So I get 1/2 to do an antiderivative of that is going to be negative u to the negative 1. Okay, you can check that. Evaluated from 2 to 1 plus b squared. Notice I haven't done, we're going to return to this limit part later, eventually, but right now we're just trying to work out this integral. So let's see, I'm going to write this as, I'm going to write just one more little maneuver here. You can rewrite that like that. So that might be helpful. 1 plus b squared. Okay, so this is negative 1 over 2 times 1 plus b squared minus negative 1 over 2 times 2. Okay, so let's focus our attention on this, right? What happens now as b goes to infinity? Well, as b goes to infinity, okay, this is going to go to 0. Right, so your denominator is growing, so that vanishes. And here we get a minus, we get a plus a fourth. Okay, so we get a fourth, and that is answer choice C.